I'm going to start by marking my holes. Where I want the drain. And I don't have a step bit, so we're going to go with this. Going to work our way around. I've got to go find some silicone here in a minute, but so I'm not going to go all the way. If it'll thread in, leave the hole as tight as possible. Eyeball that alright. But that needs to go on the inside. So I'm going to start threading it here. Clean that off a bit so we can seal it up. In the meantime, I gotta get some silicone. So today we're gonna make a live well for the kayak. I've got fittings, already made some up for the drain, which once it's inside, it'll be like this. Put that on, cut it to the right height, probably shorter, and it'll fill to a certain point and then drain out a tube through a scuffer hole. For the fill, I've got a pump, which we're going to mount in the kayak under the seat through a scuffer hole right here. Then we'll wire to a switch, run a hose over to another one of these through hole fittings, and put it up high, which we will connect another short piece to it like that. I've got a cap, on it. Come through up high, drill some holes going down, aerate the tank. Then it will drain like so. Make that shorter, and it's not insulated, but it'll have constant freshwater flow. On the PDO kayak, you know, battery is pretty much for trolling motor, so, or I mean fish finder, so you get plenty of juice. I'm going to start by marking my holes. Where I want the drain, and I don't have a step bit, so we're going to go with this. Going to work our way around. I've got to go find some silicone here in a minute, but so I'm not going to go all the way. If it'll thread in, leave the hole as tight as possible. Eyeball that alright. But that needs to go on the inside. So I'm going to start threading it here. Clean that off a bit so we can seal it up. In the meantime, I gotta get some silicone. Stop recording. Okie doke. I've got the silicone working. I'll put a healthy little bead all the way around the plastic. I won't get any leaks. Not that it's gonna matter. Kayak's got scuffer holes. Then I'm gonna do, I don't need to do it yet, but same thing on the outside. Finish threading this in. Should make a good seal. Now, because of where I put the drain, it will not fully drain, but it won't be that heavy at that point. It's pretty snug. We got her straight up and down. I'll start this. Yeah. I'm gonna go with a little bit more silicone around the outside. Never hurts. Makes a mess, but try to keep it straight up and down while we tighten her up. Now these are plastic threads, you don't want to overdo it, but it's snug. It's not going to spin, especially once the, so that's going to be that tall. I don't want it that tall. I'm going to go cut this. Then here's our finished drain. So the water's going to come in somewhere, probably up here, splash down, fill up to that point, drain. If you add fish or whatever, it won't get any more full than that. They can built just like my boat, so I'm going to do the same thing up top for the fill. So we got it in, we're tightening it up. I'm using a quarter to keep that side from spinning while I tighten the other side. Works pretty good. This is what we got so far. So glue your cap in place. I'm just using silicone. That's what I got. So, and then you slide it in there, measure and cut. Glue your cap in place. Test fit. If I can get it back out, we will drill it. It'll sit like this, and I'm going to drill holes along that port to aerate the water. Okay, we got 4 basic holes in it, about 1/4 inch each. Now I'm going to glue it on there, and I'm going to align them. See, they're here where they're not straight down but angled. You can see my drain is lower than my intake, so it'll actually get some air before it hits the water, hopefully. And everything's glued together. That's what we got so far. I'm going to find some hose, hook it up, put it in a barrel, give it a test run. Well, I can't. When it dries, I will. Sportsman PDL 106. And I've got it 2.5 horse Mercury on it. As you can see, that's how I plan on doing it. I had to cut down there, I had to cut the drain short so it would sit flat like that. my drains hooked up. Everything's still drying. I got my hose hooked up. Garden hose works, but you have to heat it. I didn't put any clamps on it because it was plenty tight. It might blow off, but who knows. Plan was to use this scupper hole, but I can't. I have the nut on there, but it'll sit something like that and flow in. It sticks too far below my kayak, so I got the nut on there. We're gonna cut a few inches off and try again, try to get it mounted. All right, so we've got it cut down. It's tight, mounted flush. Pulled it off the kayak a bit. Went underneath and almost flush. Shouldn't hurt much. So now we'll do a test. Got my pump, got a small battery, pump submerged, small battery. See what happens. See how she's burning. I can't hold that. That's how she sprays. So far so good. This is after about 5 gallons of water. Based on that, I would estimate by the time it starts draining, we'll be at about 70 pounds of water, which may be too much. We may have to shorten the drain tube. We'll see. That right there is about 10 gallons. If we get to the end of my buckets, it'll be 15, which is 100 pounds. I can't go beyond that. So, although I plan on making an outrigger, we'll see how that goes, but if I do, it should increase my weight. Kayak leans to the left anyway, so put buoy on the left. Okay, we are approaching the drain point at maybe 11 gallons, 2 gallons left, 13 gallons. So 7 pounds a gallon, do the math. See how she drains though. Any minute now. Starting to go. And I'm running out of water, so I'm going to stop pumping. Now I got a little bit left. Looks like it's keeping up, but it's hard to tell. Now I'm gonna kill the power. Okay. So if you keep an eye on it, you're fine. Probably run it a minute or two, and I think I'm gonna drop that drain down, decrease the weight. You can hear the water running out of the bottom of the kayak, which no problem. It's just coming out of the scuppers. Keeping up fine. Alright, I'm gonna shorten that pipe. Well, I took about 2.5 inches off. It puts it, I don't know if you can see that, about, I don't know. It's my knuckles on the bottom, 4 inches from my elbow. About right there. Not too bad. Plenty of room to overfill it and or drain. We'll go with that. We'll see what happens. I'll wire it up. By the way, this is what I'm using. OEM Old Town PDO one-way scupper plugs. It's got a flap so it can't fill up. If you don't use them when you run the motor, the back bay fills up fully, front bay does too. Adds a lot of weight, so, and plus when you drain this, it won't drain. So the Walmart scupper plugs just don't work very well. As you can see, you got a hole in the middle where the string goes, and they seep water constantly. So I'm wiring this up. Oops, dropped my tape. I'm wiring this up, and you know my battery's stored at the front, so I got to get from here up to that hatch. What I do is I got this old fishing rod, just taper to it, poke it through and cut the tape when you get there. Easy peasy. Fully installed. I think I'm going to do something different with the lid. Got it under the seat, got it wired up, got it run to a switch. We got my nav lights there, pump there with the label, but there we go. I think basically I'm gonna make a board that fits down in here and then hinge it and put a hole in right there so I don't have to take the lid off every time, because I'm using these to hold it down. You can see bungee cords are just right in there. Works pretty good. Got my homemade black pack here, and I need to get something under it to brace it up because it is slightly back. So I'll get that figured out. Build a lid so I can access it on the water. A trolling motor if I want it. I got pedal drive if I want it, and I got a motor if I want it, and of course paddle. So there you go. I think I got my lid built. This is what I got. We got a mud flap off the truck, hinged together with jump rope in and out, cut around the edge, gravity fed shut, flips. Take it off. Got knots for the handle. Grab the holes, leave it in and out. Turn it around once you get on the water. When the highway speed isn't an issue, you could turn it this way. And again, bungee cords in the hooks. Flip it around. One hand to open, throw your fish in. Boom. If you had your drain port. I can't get it any less water than that without taking it out, draining it completely. Drain's just too high. That's tipping it and everything. It's not too hard to detach and tip, drain. And if you want to take it fully out of the boat, just go under there and unthread it from the pump. Leave the pump, take the hose with you, take the box with you, and it's not in your boat.